wanted was her through eternity. She wanted him through eternity, not him with his first wife.
Yeah.
So she just really loved him. That just reinforced the thought. Now she's brave, and look at her left hand there.
I was just looking at that actually, yeah.
That's a prosthetic hand. That's why it's so big. It's a man's hand.
I was wondering if she was holding his hand, but then I saw like his hands are right here.
Notice the thumb sticking out. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, that's called a push-pull hand. So you can push and pull things on the table with it. So what happened to her hand was, originally Kentucky was neutral, but eventually, in this part of the state was Confederate sympathizers.
Mm.
But when the neutrality was violated, it was Confederate, but in February the Union kicked them out. And when they took over, they ran this place. They governed this place through terror and fear. And they committed terrible war atrocities. And what?
That just like it shook.
It's
Or maybe.
yeah, it's me.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Just
I was
forget
like,
everything on this side of the house.
Oh.
I mean, this area.
I just happened to look over and saw it like shaking, and I was like, oh, hello. If you're there, hi.
Okay, so
The hand, yeah, her.
she went to aid one of her indoor slaves, and I'll call her a servant because I don't think she felt them as slaves.
Mm.
That slave was being assaulted by Yankees, or Yankees, and she went to their aid. And one of those guys was an officer because he had a sword. She actually touched him, and he pushed her down. We drew his sword and chopped her hand off and said, "You'll never do that again." And that's how she lost her hand.
Oh.
Very brave woman. She risked her life doing that.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm surprised he did that because Mr. Caldwell is a Mason, and the brotherhood between Masons is much, much stronger than the soldier has for their state or country.
Mm-hmm.
Soldiers really fought for their state. They're proud of their state and their country, but so it's really strong. He wasn't harmed because he was a Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a Mason on the other side, there you go.
Right, yeah.
An officer was a Mason. And since she's his wife, she should have immunity too, but apparently not.
Or he would, yeah, you would think maybe I don't know.
Maybe he just wasn't thinking. But he could have run her through with that sword, so she knew that. She went to me.
Yeah, it's like she knew what she was getting herself into when
apparently
she
she
did it.
didn't
Like she was
believe
putting
that.
herself in
She didn't believe that
harm's way.
slaves should be slaves, because you would never go try to rescue a slave and risk your own life for that, because they were just property.
Right, yeah.
Apparently she didn't feel that way. So I really admire her.
Yeah, I did too.
Now, when she moved into Bowling Green in 1918, the house went on the market, and there was a Dr. Miles Williams who was living in Nashville, but he used to live across the street and admired the house. And he said he would buy it if it ever came on the market. So in 1918 it did. He bought the house in 1919, but he'd been in Nashville for a long time. He's an osteopath doctor. And so he would come here on his spare time. He'd even take vacations down here to fix this house up. The house was in bad disrepair because when Harriet moved, she was in her 90s. She lived a nice long life.
She did.
Really unusual for back in those days. Oh, I forgot to mention she had 11 children in 12 years that they were married. Mr. Caldwell never saw his last child being born because he died of typhoid fever. And only 7 of those children lived to adulthood. Very common back in those days. I read a statistic where 30% or 300 out of 1,000 babies died of disease or
accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, house was purchased by Dr. Williams. He fixed up things in the house. His wife, Betty, she wrote an article and said that roof was almost gone. So there's a lot of water damage in the attic. So much water damage that the brick was coming out, especially on this side of the house, the outside walls. And
Excuse me.
the deck had rotted and it had fallen to the ground when he moved in, or when he bought the house. So what he did, he fixed all these things, okay? He put the deck back up. The deck has stairs now. It didn't have it when Mr. Caldwell lived here. There's a back door downstairs in the first floor. And of course, the front door. Now if you go downstairs, the back door leads into a modern built storage.
We go back there. Okay.
Now, I didn't tell you about the hiding places, did I? Now, I'm getting around to that. While building the house, Mr. Caldwell put hiding places in the house. Because in 1847, there's no sheriffs or police down here, no law enforcement. So families had to take care of themselves. So he put hiding places. First hiding place I'm going to mention is underneath the front steps. That's hollow. I think I mentioned that already.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, you didn't.
But I did tell you about the next hiding place is when you go in the foyer on your left, you will see a glass cutout in the wall, about that big. And behind that glass cutout is a mannequin of a Confederate soldier. So that shows what that hiding place was used for later on during the war. Now, you could access that hiding place through a ladder that's built into the wall, and you go down that ladder from a closet on the second floor or third floor in the sick room. And when you go in the sick room, you know it's a sick room.
You can feel it.
Well, you can maybe feel it. I feel creeped out on the second floor, period.
I feel like the higher you go in levels, for some reason, it's just there's more energy the higher you go up.
I used to think it's these old houses have mold, and maybe I'm just allergic to
Yeah,
mold.
right? Like the debunking in you, or
Yeah.
like
Or I'm not out of shape, so climbing the stairs didn't make me. But sometimes I get my heart would race, I get a headache and feel pressure on my chest. I would have to actually leave the room. And that's just, they're there.
I've been there.
That's all it is. You've been there?
Yeah, I've felt like that pressure. She actually feels things sometimes.
Okay. Well, tell me how you feel on the second floor.
I will.
So I keep getting off base, guys. I'll be here.
No, it's okay. I mean, we can, whatever. I mean, we love this story. Are you guys okay with the stories and stuff? I mean,
okay.
This is pretty nice.
Now, another hiding place I'm going to mention to you is behind you, there's a room. It's a small
Oh,
room.
the one I was just looking at.
It was a master bedroom at one time for Mr. Caldwell and his wife. Excuse me. Wives. No, it's the second wife. I don't think the first wife lived